So this is an exercise that is being offered in response to a suggestion that we do narrated slideshow every now and then over the course of this class. So here we are. In the early 2000s, I had the pleasure of doing a review, actually a 10-year evaluation of Barbados' nationwide integrated solid waste management plan. I was part of a 3-person team. My teammates came from Trinidad and Peru. And what we did was to look at all of the solid waste management facilities in the country, and including the new engineered sanitary landfill, and to offer our recommendations and suggestions for where to go from there. So what we're going to do in this exercise, I'm going to give you some questions over the course of the slides, and I'm looking for you to respond in the conference for week 2. So please, in responding to the questions, don't focus on some of the uncontrolled aspects evident in the photos, because the project owners, PAHO and the Barbados Ministry of Health, actually agree with you, and this is why they have an ISWMP in place. Instead, focus on the goals and the process of the ISWMP planning process. So this first slide shows some of the terrain in the area of the main landfill. And not the new engineered one, but the old landfill that was still in use at that time. The question is this: why is terrain important? This slide shows some drums next to the administration building. Now, the ISWMP addressed drums, and this is a current practice that we observed while we were there. What should our recommendations include with respect to drum management? So the next couple of slides are of an historic facility that was still in use while we were doing our evaluation. And this was the place where slaughterhouse waste, or offal, was disposed of. It was trucked in, pumped out of trucks, and the ground was turned in order to mix the offal with the soil. So here's the question: how can you take advantage of natural bioremediation on a carbonate island safely? So this is a picture of the same facility and one of the trucks that's dumping liquid waste into the soil, which will then be turned. Liquids are different than solids in terms of how they move in the environment. How, again, on a carbonate island, can you, when you depend on groundwater for your drinking water supply, do this in a safe manner? So the next 3 slides are of the main historic landfill, an unengineered place that is unlined, and it has the nickname Mount Stinkaroo. You can Google it and find a number of links, I think, to it. So without belaboring the obvious, I want to ask a question about animals. First, what kind of animals do you think are an issue with this or any landfill? And how would you control them? Now, unlike a number of questions countries outside of the U.S., Barbados does not have an issue with humans scavenging in its landfills to any great degree. There are a number of countries that do, and without trying to name them all, the Philippines, Mexico, Haiti are three that I've seen. So here's the question. If you are in a country where human scavenging is an issue, what are the kinds of steps that you would take to address it? Would you try to eliminate it, or would you try to work with it? Again, we're still on Mount Stinkaroo. Observe this vent pipe. How does landfill gas impact a dump or an uncontrolled landfill versus a sanitary landfill? Now we're at a different site in a different part of the country, and this had been a disposal site for white goods and electronics. Again, it's not an engineered facility. Question: what kinds of hazards do machines/electronics create? Same facility. Here's the question. On a small island, how would you recommend managing electronic waste? Would you manage it ultimately on site, or would you export it for management elsewhere? And why? As we have seen in this country and others, asbestos disposal is an issue. And this is a separate facility that had been devoted to asbestos disposal. Here's the question. Is all asbestos equally hazardous? Same site, and note the piles and the digging that has been done. Here's the question. Where is the asbestos coming from that's being disposed of here? So that's the end of this exercise. I hope it proves stimulating. I look forward to feedback on it. Since we're in a short week, please feel free to work on it through Monday. And if you have any questions, of course, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks so much for your engagement and enthusiasm. We'll talk soon.